Hey everyone, good evening. I know I look crazy, but listen, I had a long day at work. I'm tired as hell. And I just want to jump on here just for a little bit and talk about gaslighting. Um, and I want to talk about gaslighting because this is something that I've experienced growing up throughout my childhood, um, adulthood, you know, with being raised by my mom, and I've even experienced gaslighting in the workplace, in friendships. But I wanted to come on here and kind of talk more about gaslighting. um, I want to talk about the definition of it because this is also a word that kind of bounced around a lot, and not everybody using it in the right terms, in my opinion, but whatever. But gaslighting, what is gaslighting? Just gonna read my notes. What is gaslighting? Gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation in which a person seeks to sow seeds of doubt in a target individual or in a group, making them question their own memory, perception, or sanity. It often involves the perpetrator denying facts, events, or the feelings of the victim. And this is something that I've experienced, like I said, throughout my childhood, and it is something that definitely it if it affected my the way that I view myself, the way that I how I interact with others, and how I build relationship with others. Because, in my opinion, when you've been constantly gaslit, um, it kind of it fogs your perception, like it fogs your ability to kind of like rationalize what's going on at the moment. um, and I was even friends with somebody who was constantly passive aggressive. And to me, when you've been gaslit so much, when you are around somebody or any environment where it's passive aggressive and they're passive aggressive, child, it's a nightmare. Because somebody who's passive aggressive is like, and who it's like somebody who throws backhand compliments, and it's like you kind of see what they trying to do, but it's like, it's like you kind of have to like read between the lines. And when it comes down to being around people who are passive aggressive, child, I get triggered. I'm like, I can't deal with you. I walked away from a 10-year friendship because I realized that the person I was friends with was very passive aggressive, sarcastic, and also had tendencies of gaslighting. um, but yeah, I've experienced gaslighting a lot as a kid, dealing with, living with my mom and being raised by my mom. She would provoke situations purposely. And then the moment I gave her a reaction, she would like make it seem like as if like I was crazy, or I was just imagining things, or, I was being too sensitive. And even like her facial expressions, like I would be confronting her about certain things that she said or did, and she would just have this like, yeah, okay, that like look on her face, as if like basically not validating what I'm saying, or validating like, hey, you did this to me and it hurt me, or I'm trying to explain, my position. And when you're dealing with somebody toxic like that, they don't give a damn what you have to say. They take zero accountability. Your thoughts, your feelings, or opinions don't matter, because that means you're telling them that they're wrong and that they have a problem, and they don't want to um ever acknowledge that. And dealing with gaslighting definitely has affected me as an adult, and this is something that I'm, like I said, this channel is me talking about me and being, me healing in the moment. But it's definitely, I've definitely, like, even in workplaces, like even to the point where like I would even gaslight myself. Like sometimes I would think that I'm feeling a certain way, or I know something is off, and then I'll think like, maybe you're overreacting, or maybe they, didn't mean it that way. When deep down inside, what's being said and done to you. And learning how to just trust my gut instinct, and knowing that once I feel a feeling, right that moment, embrace that feeling, because that's my body is telling me that something is off. And that's something that I am, in the process of working through, and realizing. And um I wouldn't say that I'm getting good at it. I feel like that I am. in a way, because like the moment I went no contact with my mom, it's like every relationship was like a domino effect. The moment I was able to cut her off, I was able to cut off toxic friend. Now I'm in a position of getting away from my toxic job because I'm realizing like, okay, this job ain't it. This is toxic. And it all starts to kind of, it's like a domino effect once you cut that source. Um, but yeah, gaslighting is, it really does, like even looking at the definition of it, like it places doubt in your mind, and it makes you just question your reality and insanity. And that the part when it says questioning your sanity is something that really stood out to me, because it was times where like when my mom used to gaslight me, I used to feel like I was going insane. Like when I mean like like it was the gaslighting, like it was just like I thought I was going crazy. Like I literally thought I was crazy. It will be, sometimes it'll be to the point where I was in tears. Like I would have to leave the apartment and sit in the hallway and just be like, what is happening right now? Um, I remember one time my mom got physical with me. um we were out in public, and I don't want to get too much into detail, but she physically put her hands on me. People that were, there in the facility, we were in a doctor's office, and they had to like pull her off me, and I ended up not going home that night. I came home the next day because my friend's mom was like, you gotta, because I was a teenager then. And I remember when I walked into the house, my mom was like, you owe me an apology. You need to say, like, she was like, I owed her an apology. She said, you embarrassed me in front of everybody, when she was the one who physically attacked me first. And I was probably like maybe 17, 16 years old. And at that time, I'm a teenager. I didn't know. I apologized to her. And we went about like nothing ever happened. And that's something that can really like it affects your thinking process. It affects your self-esteem, it affects your confidence. Being in these type of situations, I hear a lot of stories about women, even men, because abuse is not just women, it's men too, but a lot about women, being in abusive relationships, marriages, having abusive boyfriends. And these type of treatment as a kid really can set you up to fail. And I follow this woman on YouTube and TikTok, and her name is Spiritual Whistleblower, and she's really good. She has a really good platform, and she talks a lot about this stuff. And she says that when you are dealing with a parent, or raised with a parent who is narcissistic, they will set you up to fail in life, and that's exactly what they'll do. They will set you up to fail in life. They will set you up to be in abusive relationships, friendships, jobs, because that abuse that you endure, that we endure as a kid, it sticks with us mentally, psychologically, and we cling on to those who have those same type of traits. um and it's really scary. It really is. It's scary, it's messed up, but once you start to recognize it and you start to like, okay, this is what it is, I reclaim it, it doesn't feel scary anymore, because you understand where you come from, you understand the source, and it's like, okay, we ain't gonna be doing this. We're gonna work through this. But when it first clicks to you, was like, oh shit, like this. Oh, yeah, okay, this ain't gonna happen. I ain't about to, you know, and yeah. But gaslighting is, um, even like I said, it. I tend to even gaslight myself, and sometimes I'll be in situations where if I would have listened to my first instinct or gut, I would have avoided being in certain situations. And it takes time, it takes a lot of time, learning that self trust. I think that's also a thing that I'm working on, is learning how to trust myself. Getting educated on these type of terms, and and kind of being able to kind of reflect and kind of connect the dots in a way has kind of helped me. um, definitely going no contact has definitely helped me because, like I said, once you kind of cut that cord, everything else starts to look like clear as day somewhat. Slowly and surely it starts to look super clear, and you start to be like, okay, now I see why I've been in this job that I hated so goddamn long. I've been trauma bonded with this toxic ass job. Or, I've been in this friendship for so long, and deep down in my gut, heart, soul, I knew something was off. But I ain't perfect, so I gotta accept that person. We've been friends for this long, and then you start to realize, like, nah, this ain't it. Like, this ain't it. This is all a connection to my crazy ass parents. Like, this is all a connection. Like, I gotta, separate it. But yeah, want to talk about gaslighting just for a little second. Um, and I hope everybody is doing okay. I know it's the holidays, and around this time it can be kind of tough if you are somebody who's distant from, certain family members, or distant from your parents. So this can be, I've been having my little. I wouldn't say I'm sad because I don't mind spending the holidays by myself. Like, I like my peace. I make my own traditions. We're learning to make my own traditions. But that sadness kind of pops up here and there, but I push through it. But I know around this time, if you are somebody who's, that, take care of yourself, do something that you love to do, go to the movies, order you some food, cook, buy you some gifts. I might buy me a Christmas tree and wrap my own presents and put my cat's presents under the Christmas tree. We'll see, because he be trying to attack my trees, and I don't know. But so I know this time of year is like it can be really difficult, especially when you're not close to your family or not near your family, because you have people who have close family, but they may not be able to get to them, due to distance and all that stuff. And I know everybody finances is not the same, but keep your head up if you are. If not, I wish everybody a safe and happy holiday. Um, and I may do a more in-depth detail of going no contact or being separated from, family and friends during the holidays. I may not. I'll see um, if I'll get that going. But thank you guys for listening, and you enjoy the rest of your night. Bye.